How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to the Cosmic Ray channel. I'm your host, Cosmic Ray. So I would like to thank that fly for hitting me in my nose. I like to share an experience with everyone today, and it's definitely a personal experience. Kind of more like fighting your truth in life, and just knowing that to believe in yourself, above others or above among a lot of things, that hit you. Also want to kind of hit or touch base, in a sense, all in one encompassing story of about like limitations or imitation, really, of yourself. They're not trying to like imitate others just because just because it's something where you may feel that it's right to do, or you just feel you just want to kind of like follow. I don't know. It sounds negative to say this, but follow the herd or follow the sheep, kind of thing, or be part of that, part of society. And I just feel like finding yourself truth or truth from within is where it's at. I can't tell you what to do. It's all about what you feel inside. But for me, I feel like finding my own truth or finding my own self is from within. It's not from without or from external factors or from finding out from what other people feel about you, or you want to I guess look at someone and kind of take on that persona. Don't get me wrong, there's okay to get motivated in life, to want to change from within or change yourself, and you may see that from external sources, but you don't necessarily have to like imitate them. And I know when it comes to, like, say, law of attraction, or back in the day before I believed in spirituality, even and when it comes to business, you want to dress as if, act as if you're already there. So don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to steer away from that aspect. You can still dress professional, be professional without necessarily imitating someone's specific. And of course, it's okay to have mentors in life. I'm not saying you can't do that or want to like have something beautiful, but to find that beautiful that part of you, you have to find that from within, and or at least that's how it was for me. So my apologies, don't mean that's what you have to have in life, but that's just how it worked for me. So come join me on this little like magic carpet ride of a story, and I'll do my best to kind of cut some corners. But believe me, this is all something where I had to really understand like certain things of what this universe was trying to teach me, and so I had a job opportunity where this one particular company I was working for, and this wasn't the retail company, this was something else. It didn't really work out too well. That in itself could be a story. However, with this particular case, it's about trying to move on. And I found like a lot of different like synchronicities of life to be able to get me to this like job interview. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go. It was around 12 o'clock was the time for the interview. I'm like, let's do this. I was waiting around, and it brought to be like after 12, like 12:15 rolls by. Well, right before that, I met someone who like kind of sat right in front of me, and it was weird. She was wearing the exact opposite what I was wearing. I had a gray top and black bottom, and she had a black top, gray bottoms, and that was like the first thing she mentioned. Besides if I was here for just a random interview. And it was funny because she started talking about like stuff about her life, and it was weird for me because I'm not used to being around that. And when I'm going for an interview, I don't like to really talk to anyone, really, not to be rude, but it was just more like I kind of concentrated like on other things. And I don't know, just maybe being as an empath, maybe she felt like it was just okay for to kind of just, maybe she had her own nervousness, so she had to talk through it. And it was weird because after her trying to tell me her story about her life, it was one of those things where right after that, something told me to leave. And it was weird because I'm like, I did everything to prep up. I did stuff in the morning, try to get resume paper, everything going in the morning. I usually do this stuff like a couple days before, so I'm not like worried about the timing and worried about being rushed. But I kind of had to get out of my comfort zone. So I did that all in the morning, finally came up to this, did some yoga, meditation, all that stuff, ready to go, iron some clothes. So when I felt this thing that said, you need to leave right now, I was like, no, screw that. Like, what the hell? Like, why is the universe telling me no? Why is the universe telling me to get out of here after I felt guided from the universe to be here? And I don't know. And I felt like just for a small moment of life, I was supposed to be there for this person just so that they wouldn't feel nervous. And I felt like the world needed this type of person to work at this facility so that whatever I could do to help her feel nervousness so she feel confident in this like interview was it. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, what is this? Like this can't be it, right? This can't be why I got ready, did all this stuff. No way. Doesn't make any sense, right? Or at least logical sense, right? So at one point I was like, okay, all right, universe. Sorry, I just saw a hawk went by. It's like, okay, universe, let's do this. Okay, so 1212 came, and I was like thinking, okay, synchronistic number. That's probably a good sign. Let me just wait a little bit more, just in case, not to be too woo woo on this one. Um, and around 1225, close to 1230, like so close to about 30 minutes. I'm like thinking, okay, well, what's going on? I heard, they're supposed to be back, and I heard all this other stuff, and yet not knowing, what's happening. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go. Got up, walked out with confidence. Felt like, you know what? This is right. Whatever it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be. So I ended up going home, and on the way home, I get a call from the company, and I was thinking, maybe they're gonna chew me out. Like, who am I to leave? Whatever. And this person actually called, apologized, and told me that they were trying to help someone. And I actually praise them for helping, because what I had at this other job felt like no one really wanted to help anyone anymore. So I felt this is beautiful. This was like one of those like right moment kind of things. And so I was talking to her about the job, and she was saying, do you want to do another interview or do a phone interview? So I was doing this while driving. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this interview. Everything kind of went well. Everything was good. I even asked for more money than they were offering. It's kind of weird. At the initial recruiter was telling me it's like this X amount, but when this manager asked me, I just kind of like raised it up a couple bucks just to see what happens. Whatever. And and I asked, how soon to be able to find out. They're like, everything's good. So the very next, actually like a couple hours after that, go for a run, get a phone call. I didn't answer. It's from them. Another half hour later, get another phone call. I was like, you know what? Let me answer this. And everything was good. They wanted me, and for the amount that I mentioned, and everything was great. And I couldn't have been happier. So this were kind of like some of that find your own type of truth, find your own thing kind of happens. So this speech isn't an anti-vaxxing or anti-vaxxer type of thing. This isn't like, don't get the COVID shot or do get the COVID shot. Like, I really, out of kindness of my heart, regardless how I say this, I really don't care what you feel or what you want to do, with you. That's you. I have, even my own girlfriend, is, vaccinated, and she's has a beautiful heart and spirit and seeking mind. And that has nothing to do with her or her beliefs. And even with my family, who actually happened to get COVID. If you know anything about me, with my spirituality, I haven't been sick for about 4 to 5 years, and I'm very happy, for that, and grateful for that. Um, I've worked in a retail right when COVID happened, or right before COVID happened, and so for about a good year into it, haven't been sick. I was a manager watching over, others, and a lot of people, seen a lot of people sick, and I didn't get sick, and I don't believe to the point where I'm immune and look at me, I will never get sick. Sorry, there's so many good things to look at right now. My little ADD, spiritual ADD moment, looking at some beautiful spirit guides, or animal guides. Yeah, I hear you too. So it's just one of those things where, for me personally, I was like, okay, been getting a lot of this like weird feeling of being in control, of life, of like the government or politics or whatever it is, or whatever you feel COVID is about, feels something very natural, or if this was man-made to, destroy people or whatever the case. I feel that this was from nature, and it's kind of somewhat thinning out the herd in a negative way, in a negative way to, kind of say it kind of thing. But obviously, for every beautiful soul that's out there, I don't want them, being taken from this earth. But it's not my judgment, to make that call. Um, but I will say this though, from family members having COVID, it's horrible, and for them to kind of go through things that they've gone through, and I think it helped awaken themselves because they made it through. Unfortunately, a lot of people can't, and then it's horrible. And my heart actually goes out for those people, because it's sad and for have a loved one be gone, especially from something like this that people say could be, could have been somewhat cured, even though people still get sick from COVID and with the shot. So with this company, everything was good. Everything was working well, and then they started going through, like, okay, you have to go get your physical and get like a tuberculosis or TB shot, and all this stuff I was actually kind of okay with. This is stuff I've had, since I was like a kid, kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, yeah, no big deal, whatever, whatever. Um, and then like the question of all questions, which was weird because I worked at a healthcare facility before and didn't have this happen. But they said that I had to get vaccinated, and I'm like, oh, well, nowhere on their website, nowhere in the interview, nothing at all, to the application process, mentioned to get a COVID shot. I'm like, huh. Now I didn't want to like go into like a diatribe and be like, no, like screw you and your, and your COVID shots. I immediately was like, okay, no big deal, just kind of let it go. But the person was really nice on the phone regarding the recruiter, and she was saying how she felt, like her beliefs were, and and she was like, okay, I just had to make that judgment call whether or not I wanted to get paid, and it was just like that, the way she said that. I'm like, huh. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand money is hard, and to say like, oh, I'm going to pass on a job opportunity, that's not really my cup of tea. But neither is my cup of tea of leaving an interview 25 minutes afterwards, I'm not getting the interview in a sense, and stuff, good stuff still happened because I kind of believed in something in myself, knowing my self-worth, knowing how much, how I'm important and my time is, important to me, in a sense. So I also had this, feeling of, okay, I had this moment of self-reflection, and this girl's like, okay, well, take a day, think about it. Like, all right, today being my birthday, September 1st, and this happened yesterday. I'm like, okay, didn't really have much time to think about it, really. I guess for me, I just needed more time. And I wake up watching a video of of a YouTuber I haven't really listened to in a while, but um, it was something that a video that he had like 3-4 days ago talking about like 1984, and I always felt like how this society is actually moving towards that. So it obviously got to my attention. I'm like, all right, well, maybe I should actually pay attention, right? um, and it just reminded me of like, being yourself and finding your own truth, and it kind of reminded me of like, okay, that's kind of something I really needed to hear at that time, right? Of what was going on. And also too, before I knew I was going to go on this little nature venture here, little journey, I knew that I wanted to open up some tarot cards, or kind of like they're like moment reflection, like Osho cards. They're kind of like more of a moment reflection versus like the like true tarot. So my heart's to all those who do that. Um, but I also wanted to say that with these, it was just kind of like a moment reflection. So like I shuffled them up and picked one out. And it's funny, I put one card that had back in, and it was I believe it had to do with like imitations, and it had to do with like this Buddhist monk holding up one finger. The one finger represents like all in oneness, really. But every time this uh, monk had mentioned something about like some type of Zen prophecy or a Zen type of moment, he'd always do this, and there was always this one who was trying to learn, like the disciple that was trying to learn, and always imitated the master by putting up one finger. But he did that as in like messing with someone. So anytime someone who would say, hey, um, what did you learn today? And he always does this, and he always does it as in like kind of like somewhat making fun of him, but not necessarily. And then the Zen master heard about this, type of thing, and immediately when he saw the young one imitating him, he immediately cut off his finger. And it was that moment where, when this kid was running around, the Zen master mentioned something like, stop. And in that moment of stop, the Zen master pulled up one finger, and the kid was about to. He had like, kind of half of a finger kind of thing, and he realized for that moment, um, about what that meant, and about in that moment that young disciple became, enlightened. And for me, with this, imitation thing, or was like how we are with society. How, yes, if you are someone who is in a moment or spot where you need to get vaccinated, please get vaccinated. If you feel like you need that, or you're around other people or other, like how like the elderly and young, who who are more prone to get it, or if you're in a hospital, then that makes total sense. For the type of job I was going to do, it made zero sense for me to do that, given that I wouldn't really see much people, let alone I'm usually like being on the phone kind of thing. So it was really odd to me, that I had to do that. But hey, teach their own, right? So I feel like if that's something you're called to do, that's okay. But when this happened, sorry, there's like a hummingbird literally like 2 feet away from me. When this happened, it just made me realize like I need to stop doing this. I need to stop doing this thing where I feel like I need to follow other people, for my own happiness or for money, for obtaining this job that, I may, not necessarily needed, but maybe like slightly wanted. But did I really want it? No, I'll be honest, no, I really didn't want it. I thought the money was good, the hours were good, exactly what I was looking for, Monday through Friday, weekends off, so that I could be with my kids. And it was something was telling me that this isn't it. Like this isn't what I wanted to do. And it's just one of those things where in life where I feel like you shouldn't have to be able to do things that people are telling you what to do. People are just wanting you to do just because, or if you just feel like you need to follow along what others are telling you, don't. If you feel like you don't really need to and you're high on that little, like, should I not? Like what's going on? Is this something that I really want to do? And I feel like just listen to yourself, listen to your stomach, listen to that gut instinct that people talk about. Once you meditate on it or just take a moment to reflect, and realize, is that something you really want? Because honestly, I didn't really want to do all that. I didn't really, there's just a couple things that made me feel like, okay, well maybe this is good. This is a sign from the universe. But everything else too has been a sign to also like kind of go against, what was going on, for me. So just kind of what I really wanted to leave you all with, just hoping that whatever it is that you are doing, whatever it is that you want to do or will be doing, um, or currently doing, just as long as you know that you find your own truth in life. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to some guy that's just, talking just to talk. Just, something that I hope that this will reflect with you, and to know that whatever that moment comes for you to listen to your own truth, or either imitating others, or to just find your own truth. Just try to look from within if you are feeling that things aren't really working out from looking external sources. It's probably you have to find that moment of reflection from within. So I hope you do find that reflection from within. And get out in nature. Go out. Hang out. This is beautiful today. Like I'm loving this. It was hot in California for about like, I don't know, for a long time, but definitely the past couple days. And of course my birthday, and then tomorrow is going to be like in the 80s, which before was at the 100. So I'm blessed. So this is beautiful, and hope to reach out to a lot of you in the near future. But for now, I will say, go out in nature, have some fun. Who knows? You may find exactly what you're looking for. I see a hawk come down. Hopefully you'll find exactly what you're looking for. So I love you all. I hope you guys keep riding the cosmic waves of life and keep strong whatever it is that you're doing. Know that all your hard work is going to pay off soon. And believe in yourself, if not anything else.